predicted. Drizzy has just been caught up in a courtroom situation, and the reason why has left jaws dropping. Fans are about to lose it once they hear the truth. And as expected, some will go to great lengths to silence anyone exposing what just happened. This isn't just gossip, it's reality hitting harder than ever. After everything we've witnessed, Meet the Grahams suddenly feels more real than anyone imagined. Kendrick may have been right about Drake's hidden family. The entire legal circus keeps spinning out of control, and with every passing second, it looks worse for him. Reports suggest that Drake was even ordered to take a paternity test in court. That's the kind of headline that changes everything, because now we're not just talking about rap beefs or subliminal disses. We're talking about his entire image crashing in front of the world. The way Drake is being exposed right now feels impossible to dismiss. Fans can argue and defenders can spin the narrative, but the receipts keep piling up. In this era where beef isn't just about bars, but about truth versus lies, reality versus delusion, Drake looks more cornered than ever. What we're finding out now is staggering. Drake has never been caught in this many lies throughout his entire career. Meanwhile, Kendrick Lamar continues to stand tall, reminding everyone in his interview with DJ Head that every single bar in his diss tracks was 100% fact. At first, many thought that was too extreme to be true. But looking around now, everything falling into place makes Kendrick look like he's reading from a crystal ball. His disses are aging like prophecy, and each line hits harder than before. Compare that to Drake, who can't even back up half a line from his own disses. Instead of bringing proof, he's looking like a Jerry Springer knockoff, caught up in paternity tests and legal paperwork just to make noise. That's not rap dominance. That's desperation. And here's where it gets uglier for Drizzy. This entire quest for a test has turned the spotlight directly back on him, forcing him to face how his own choices are coming back to haunt him. At this point, there's no spinning it. Drake is knee-deep in serious trouble, and the walls are closing in fast. If you're ready to see just how badly Drake got exposed in court, smash that like button so the truth spreads, and so diehard defenders can't bury it. And here's the kicker. All of this drama unfolded at the Toronto courthouse. The irony is striking. Kendrick once filmed music videos at his hometown courthouse, while Drake is being dragged into his for paternity tests and messy scandals tied to women. What makes this even wilder is that none of this was supposed to leak. There was a full-on effort to cover it up and keep every detail hidden. The only reason we even know about it is because of one man, David Lewis Wall. He recorded everything he could, pieced together the clues, and built the full picture of what was happening behind closed doors. On April 2nd, 2025, after weeks of following the situation, David dropped a video about Drake's secret trial, something nobody even knew was taking place. In that clip, you don't just hear about it, you actually see Drake walking into the courthouse for the first time. The look on his face says it all. Pure disappointment and frustration. Like he knew the walls were closing in. David went further, explaining how Drake's bodyguards swarmed the courthouse, blocking access to the actual courtroom. That detail alone speaks volumes. Because if everything was clean, why keep it locked down so tightly? Drake's empire is beginning to look less like superstardom and more like a crumbling fortress. The fact that no media outlets were allowed inside the courtroom is already a major red flag. It screams of someone hiding something massive and directly undermines what courts are supposed to represent: transparency and honesty. Even in Toronto, shutting out the press looks suspicious, instantly raising questions about what Drake is really trying to keep under wraps. The only visuals the public has seen are courtroom sketches. And that's where things get even crazier. One sketch shows Drake's bodyguard standing nearby, but the real bombshell is the woman sitting across from him in court. And let me tell you, she looks nothing like Adonis's mother. That woman is known to split her time between Houston and France. So the fact that this drama is unfolding in Toronto almost confirms that it's tied to someone else entirely. This isn't about the first scandal Pusha T exposed. This is something new, something even more unsettling. Here's what really shakes fans. The more clips and leaks surface from Drake's family court appearances, the clearer it becomes that he went above and beyond to bury this story. But thanks to David Lewis Wall, who kept showing up at the courthouse and documenting every detail, the truth keeps slipping out. One of his biggest revelations dropped on March 27th, when he laid out the logistics and ground rules of the case. That's when things took a strange turn, with details that don't just feel unusual, they feel like Drake is juggling secrets he cannot afford to let out. At this point, the only real source we have is David Lewis Wall. And that in itself is telling, because if there weren't such heavy efforts to sweep this under the rug, we'd already have far more answers. Based on his account, what's clear is that Drake was in family court with a woman we've never seen him with before. Nobody knows for sure who she is. Maybe a Stacy, maybe a Becky, but she's definitely not part of his public story. Wall initially thought this could have been about divorce, but that theory collapsed quickly. Drake isn't married, which leaves the bigger question. If it's not divorce, then what is it? The fact that it all played out in family court means it has to be one of three things: a custody dispute, a paternity situation, or another family-related conflict that could drag Drake's name straight through the mud. And no matter how you spin it, the optics are terrible. Think about it, Drake going back and forth with a woman in court is already messy. But if it's tied to a child, or some kind of hidden agreement, it could be devastating for his image, especially with Kendrick already calling him out for hidden family secrets. The timeline makes it even more suspicious. This all unfolded right around the time Drake suddenly canceled his Anita Maxwin tour, a move that left fans scratching their heads. Then, almost conveniently, he dropped that Nokia video right in the middle of it all. Looking at it now, the pattern is obvious. The only calls Drake was really answering during that period weren't from fans or friends. They were from his lawyers. Let's be real. If this situation was serious enough to force Drake to cancel an entire tour out of nowhere, then whatever's happening behind the scenes must be explosive. Court dates don't just appear that suddenly unless something massive is unfolding. The fact that Drake dropped everything, flew back from Australia, and showed up in Toronto looking absolutely miserable says it all. He didn't want to be there, but he had no choice. Now here's the shady part. While this trial was peaking, Drake conveniently dropped the Nokia video, clearly trying to distract fans and bury the optics. But the timing couldn't be more suspicious. It looks like a cover-up, plain and simple. He wanted headlines about music, not headlines about being dragged into family court under pressure. And when you zoom out, the possible outcomes are both damaging. Either Drake is hiding another child and quietly working out an agreement, exactly the kind of behavior Pusha T exposed years ago, or he's so deep in conflict with a woman that she had to drag him into court just to be heard. Both scenarios make him look bad, and neither can be brushed off with a new single. If Kendrick's accusations on Meet the Grams turn out to be true, that Drake really does have another hidden child, then this is the strongest proof yet. If confirmed, it would be career-shaking. The image of Drake as a global superstar would flip instantly into the image of a man hiding from his own responsibilities. Or maybe, this is simply another example of Drake showing his true colors when it comes to women, mistreating them, and proving once again that everything he raps about finding the right one is just a performance. The music paints him as a heartbroken lover, but reality keeps showing Drake as messy, toxic, and fake. And honestly, it lines up perfectly with how Kendrick Lamar called him out on Meet the Grams, as a shameful man hiding behind an image he can't live up to. Either way you look at it, Aubrey is losing big. He's been exposed worse than ever. And moving forward, He looks more cooked than we've ever seen him. If more details surface about this case, whether it's a woman dragging him into court with heavy claims or him secretly trying to hide another child, it's game over for his reputation. Drake is sitting in that metaphorical hot seat, and fans are watching him like, "Take a seat right over there." His image keeps sinking to new lows. And the craziest part? It still feels surreal that he's fallen this far. Every update makes the situation uglier. Every leak makes the excuses weaker. And every court appearance chips away at his carefully built persona. So now, with all this hanging over him, what's your take on Drake's latest courtroom mess? Is this proof he's the ultimate courtroom Karen? Whether he's dragging others in or being forced to show up himself? Here's where it turns even darker. While Drake's fans try to spin this as nothing to see here, the reality is becoming undeniable. Every time more details slip out, his image takes another hit. And it's not just the courtroom setting haunting him. It's the fact that he's doing everything possible to cover it up. That only makes him look guiltier. Think about it. If this were minor, if it was harmless, why the sudden cancel tour? Why the tight courthouse security? Why courtroom sketches instead of media access? It all screams damage control. Drake is clearly trying to protect his brand, but the harder he fights to keep things hidden, the more obvious it becomes that this is something massive. Kendrick's words ring louder than ever. When he rapped about Drake being fake, hiding behind money, and keeping skeletons locked away, it sounded like sharp bars. But now it feels like prophecy, playing out in real time. Drake isn't just battling Kendrick in music, he's battling the truth in real life. And right now, truth is winning. The wildest part? Drake's own moves are making him look worse. Instead of facing the situation head-on, he keeps dropping music videos, posting cryptic messages, and relying on PR tricks. But none of that can cover what's happening inside that courtroom. The more he runs, the more fans question whether Kendrick was right all along. Maybe Drake really is the fraud people accuse him of being. Behind closed doors, his bodyguards shut down access, reporters are locked out, and only sketch artists give us glimpses of what's really happening. That's not how a clean superstar operates. That's how someone acts when they're desperate to hide the truth. And here's the real kicker. Drake built his career on being relatable. The guy who pours his heart into songs. But this situation is showing the complete opposite. He's not vulnerable. He's not open. He's calculated, secretive, and scrambling. It feels like the mask is slipping in real time, and fans are finally starting to see the man behind the music. And they don't like what they see. What makes it even wilder is how obvious the PR spin has become. Drake keeps moving like he can distract the world with flashy rollouts or surprise singles. But fans aren't blind anymore. Every drop looks less like artistry and more like a smokescreen to hide the fact that he's spending his real time in family court. The timing isn't a coincidence, it's a strategy. And a desperate one at that. Meanwhile, Kendrick doesn't even have to lift a finger. His bars from Meet the Grams are aging better every day, and the streets are treating him like a prophet who called this downfall shot for shot. Drake scrambling to cover up scandals only makes Kendrick's verses hit harder, like he wrote the script for Aubrey's collapse before it even happened. Bottom line? Drake is playing defense on all fronts: career, image, and personal life. And the cracks are showing everywhere. For a man who once looked untouchable, this is the clearest proof yet that his empire is wobbling, and no rollout can patch it up. You know what to do. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video so the truth keeps spreading. I appreciate all the support. It really means everything. And if you thought this courtroom drama was wild, wait until you see how Drake just reacted when his own label hinted at exposing even more issues. Ones he absolutely did not handle well. Trust me, you don't want to miss the next one. because it shows just how badly Aubrey is spiraling right now. See you in the next video.